Oh shoot, no. Okay, so we're gonna sit a little closer. Gotta get all set up. Gotta have our butts warm, legs warm, hands warm, feet warm, all the things. Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. That'll be good. Okay. Just getting more warm stuff put on. I told her to be warm, but it's finishing getting ready. I'm gonna write some notes in my passion plan.
I did a double hack.
Good for you. Yeah, we don't want you cozy. But I still want to hang out, and it's actually, I'd rather be on the porch, even if you weren't sick, with something that you might, I might get from you sitting in your room. I want to sit on the porch.
I like the background of the flag.
This is someone on, that's one of the characters.
All right.
Hey.
I'm all right. I've been working through some stuff, but yeah.
And we can also move if this is going to be too much, but it's sort of funny too.
Yeah, it's all right.
I'm sorry you don't feel well yet again. I think it's hilarious. Yeah. So we'll just keep talking like it's not happening.
Okay.
So is there anything you'd like me to know about you in this moment while we spend a little time together?
Yeah, I haven't been able to hear out of my left ear.
You want to switch sides?
For about a week.
Yuck.
So I can actually hear you better.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This way.
Oh, okay.
But I may ask you to repeat something.
Fine.
Okay.
No problem.
Thanks.
Hopefully I didn't spit on you. Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. I was all excited because so Jeanette and I have been talking about God consciousness all day and I don't know, gift economy and just I don't know, stuff we like to talk about and our people. So we made some plans with Tom and Ayana for tomorrow, and then I started to message you about first idea was oh, you're at work, and and so it was really great that we were able to originally our plan was we were meeting somebody at 4:30 I was gonna drop Jeanette off at 4:30, and so then it would have been dark and late, and I would have still come over here, or maybe we would have come earlier and seen you to bring the soup and stuff, but then she's like, oh my God, I have another friend coming over, I have to get home earlier, and so I'm like, great, and you said you were homesick. It's well, okay, well, now I get to go see my friend when she's sick instead of her having to sit alone, and I'm most of the way to her house already. Your house is on the way home from Jeanette's, and I have all this fucking soup, and I'm like, I get to take some soup, and I didn't have to make it, and I get to tell you about, again, it's I get to tell you how God consciousness showed up for us, for you, all day long. The soup Jeanette's son made, yesterday or something. She brought it to the gathering last night, fed a bunch of people. There's still a quart left and it's actually more than a quart because it's concentrated. So there's still a quart left to bring over here.
Awesome.
And then on Friday, we shared dinner with our housemate. We made sandwiches, and she made split pea soup, and she made so fucking much, and she made it so concentrated that a ton of people have eaten that, but there's still some that needs to be eaten, and so I got to bring that over.
Thank you.
Put it in the freezer or eat it, though, because it was made on Friday.
Okay.
But, yeah. Jeanette spent the night. We planned a sleepover, so I can give you the date and see if you can come to our sleepover.
That sounds fun.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I'm just talking about how the universe takes care of us all day long, and then all this stuff happens, so that I get to come see my friend and bring you some soup. And have some porch chat.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah. We've also been talking about the healing power of how far she's come in 5 weeks, and
Yeah,
all the things that have happened, and we think a lot of it's because she got off chemo. That's a big one. But then started going to the acupuncture really regularly, and then I started getting her out of the house really regularly, and she started having fun things that excites her planned for her, and so all she had to do was show up. And you know,
Thank you.
So welcome.
that's
There's more
sweet.
if you want.
Thank you.
What is that? Oh,
It's broth.
Oh, yeah, good. Oh, the noodles aren't gluten free,
Okay.
but there's like big chunks of mushroom and stuff. So.
Thank you.
Um,
It sounds like life-giving.
very, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, on the way over to her house just now, I was like, we're proving, just in our conversations, just spending time there, just hanging out. We've been recording the shit out of our conversations. Like, we're proving that this is helping you. Whether you live a long, long time after this or not, your quality of life. Right? And she's like, yeah. I mean, she's glowing again. She's
Yeah.
like, and I, you know, we do feel some hope that, like, what if the cancer can be indolent again, is the word where it's, and that was the first video we ever made together, is she said, cancer is indolent, and that means it's in there, but it's not causing harm. And so, yeah, I just got the flash, like, oh my God, that'd be so cool. If next January we are able to make another video where she's like, yeah, cancer's indolent again. But so, yeah, doing that kind of time with our other friends, like,
That sounds magical.
yeah, you know, we're going to be able to, if at the very bare minimum, if just, like, hanging out or making it so you can come hang out with us or, like, whatever, no matter how shitty you feel, it's still the quality of life is better, right?
Yeah, I think I really struggle with that sometimes. I think because my health has been more in a downward slope for the last couple of years. I feel like some of my own patterning, I'm really comfortable isolating myself and masking that under the false belief that I'm protecting myself or that, like, I'm somehow safer or more capable of taking care of myself, even though I'm not at all. And so
You're more capable than perhaps anybody's been able to be in the past. You're more capable than many examples of those in the past who could have taken care of you if they had been doing what they should have been doing.
can you phrase that in a different way?
Yeah. So I heard you say you're really comfortable isolating. And see, it's making it funny. Like, you know, we gotta laugh. You feel comfortable isolating. There's the belief that you can take care of yourself better. And that was true. It was a better idea for you to isolate at times. It was a better idea for you to go, like, I can take better care of myself. That was really true. I'm sure at many points of your life, and maybe even sometimes now. But you are surrounded by different people now.
That's true.
Very different people, even than a year ago.
That's true.
So, and light years. Different people surround you than, I don't know, what would you say, 5 years? 10 years? What?
I would just say a lifetime of
Lifetime.
years. Yeah.
There you go. So it's
Yeah.
the new experience with the old stimulus is possible and present just because you've created others to be around you so you could test those theories.
Yeah, I think also there's some level of embarrassment around my state of debilitation. You know, there's still this part of me that believes I could have done something or that I'm not doing enough. And I know that's all the conditioning of, like, bullshit capitalism and, like, equating our value with how busy we are or how much shit we can just keep compiling.
Or how hyper independent we can be.
Yeah, and like, I don't need any, I don't need it. I've been lone wolfing my whole life, you know? I'm sure you have too.
There's fucking times where being a lone wolf is the smartest thing you can do. Smartest thing. I like, fuck you guys, I'm going home. Like, there are times when that is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But you've been like me and others in our sphere creating a new environment in every possible way, energetically, intellectually, like spiritually, physically. And so it makes all the sense in the world to still have the same patterns, that like orientation towards, isolation. I can do this better. It's embarrassing. But there's literally different people around. And so I'm hoping that you'll, and you have been, I know you have been so much, like stepping more and more into, okay, you say you want, you say you can help me out, you say you can take care of me, I'll spare you sit. Don't just, look, it's done with the words, man. No more words. Action. And you'll believe, you can start believing the actions. Just ignore the words. I mean, you and I have words on a regular basis that are real, and it's like, I'm sorry that we haven't been in touch. I think of you, and I want to be in connection with you. But we honestly know, truly, and trust why we haven't been in connection. We're not ghosting each other. And there are times of isolation, but I know, I'm hoping for you, and I know for me, it's less about isolating myself, and it's more about, like, I'm just so tapped that all I can do,
Taking care of yourself.
all I can do is send love and the little notes that we send sometimes, or the little like tags or whatever, like those are all points of connection in the times in between. But so yeah, just and giving, and today you're homesick. I happened to find out you're homesick. I wouldn't have probably otherwise. I happened to be out. I happened to have soup. And I happen to have time because I've created my own life that tell all the rest of it to go fuck itself, and so that I can come be with my friend, and I can be with my other friend, Jeanette, and we can go be with our friends Tom and Ayana tomorrow. I've told the fucking world to go fuck itself so that I can do this.
Thank you.
And I want to.
Thank you. Your Christmas music, perimenopause.
Was that a good one?
I love that.
Those people are hilarious. And I highly recommend watching anything that appeals to you from them. But the reason why I love them is they started one year, randomly made a video for their friends, singing a song in their jammies. And now their life is like everything different and very abundant. And they've been on the Amazing Race. And like all this really cool shit has happened because they decided to record themselves being silly and clever. And now their life gets to be being silly and clever.
That's awesome.
So they're models for us.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I was able to introduce you to the Holderness family because I love them.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. They're very silly and funny and often topical. But also more from a conventional world, and I think that's interesting too sometimes, to be like, what do the conventional people think is funny?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because then they're like, okay, how can we retranslate it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I haven't looked yet for the Monster Eating Lettuce book. I gotta find that. You feel like me come over?
Thanks for coming over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've really shown up for me throughout the years, and I'm so grateful.
I'm really glad that I finally get to do it physically, and it's not just the desire and the want and the words and the when it works out really easily. Because now this happens.
Yeah.
You know? Partly because we kept doing it. We kept trying. We kept saying, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. It's not empty words. The desire always comes before the ability to do a thing, so.
Yeah.
Now that it's happening.
We're here peacefully. Look at us.
And the flag didn't
I think it really does make a red backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How are you?
Great. I feel I'm particularly happy right now because I get to notice all the ways that doing what I love to do and what I want to do does energize and nourish me. because until this morning, I was super fucking tapped out. So tapped out. Just this past week, from Saturday until last night, was a trial, like every day. And the theme of every day was almost all of them were men. It was almost all men, but it was definitely, all the ways that how my needs are different than what's currently accepted as normal and common. All the ways my needs are fucking annoying and a big hassle and really like hard to do.
Can you give me an example?
Yeah. So one was I really thrive in environments where it's quiet more often than sound. And those sounds can be all kinds of things, like they all get me in different ways. So more quiet than sound is where I thrive. I made a request in our household that we all are cool with the quiet hours between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. Cool, everybody's cool with that. What I asked for was during the day that there be times where, I didn't even ask for all day the default be quiet, because I get a lot quiet when everybody's gone. It does happen a lot. But when others are in the house, my request was, can there be more time, or can there be some time that's quiet? The default is not music, the default is not chat. It is just, the default is no music, no chat, don't interrupt Heather because she's working. She's physically not here, but, you know, the environment is quiet right now. That ended up being such a long conversation that we never got to anything else, and I don't think we actually even resolved that one. Then I went to church on Sunday, and every aspect of church was painful. I couldn't find a single place where it wasn't fragranced. I was way over in the corner, far away from everybody else. So that made me think, okay, it's the building, it's not just the people around. It was so loud that even with my loop in, it's like concert level loud. I'm like, does really everybody like this? Does really most people like this? Because I can't believe that most people like this. I'm sure there's other people in this room who are like, I wish the lights weren't so bright, and I wish the sound wasn't so much, and I wish that like, maybe I'm one of the only who doesn't want the smell, I don't know. But, and so I felt really saddened and disappointed to feel, for God's house to not be inclusive for me. That if I want something different, I have to do something different. I have to leave, go to a quieter area. I have to stay home and watch it on video. I have to, I have to separate myself from everyone, and I was still miserable. The sermon was about Jesus's trials and how everybody was like, you're a weirdo. You're the only one who wants those things or says those things or believe those things. You're a weirdo. Some believed him and went with him. Lots of them didn't and got really fucking crazy about it. So that's what the sermon was about. And then the three of us who were there had a conversation afterwards, and we all had extremely different experiences. We were all sitting in the same room, listening to the same thing, all had very different experiences. So that's another theme of the whole week. It's been the way that people can share space, time, energy, have the exact same experience outwardly, have a very different experience inwardly. Took my car to the shop, had to advocate for, please put plastic on my seat, wear gloves when you touch my steering wheel. I'm extremely allergic to fragrances. The dude I'm talking to is so fucking smelly that if we were outside, I could still smell him for 60 feet. I could smell him through my KN95. Please put plastic on my seat, wear gloves. I got so much fucking attitude from that dude, and he did the fun thing of swipping back and forth. Oh, I was just kidding. And I said, you sure had me convinced that you were annoyed. But the universe took care of me again, and it's a warranty issue. And I told him, I'm like, it's the same thing that was happening a couple months ago. Why is this a big mystery? And because he was giving me pushback. We don't even know what it is yet. We'll see if we can figure it out. And I'm just like, I don't think it's a big mystery. And so he had to be like, yeah, it's just this, that, and great. It's all very simple, but the fact that I had to have this big, long conversation and get a bunch of pushback and guilt. They traded to make me feel guilty. pharmacy issues. Somebody got mad at me because they had to back out my stuff so that they could rebill it because insurance had an issue that wasn't my fault, blah, blah, blah. So directing all that anger at me, and I'm like, it's not my fault the system's fucked up. That it's a hassle for you. Sorry, but I actually didn't apologize. I kept thinking, you want me to apologize, and that's why you keep repeating how annoying this is for you. I'm not going to apologize because this is not my fucking fault. And this is a perfectly appropriate thing to happen. OHP fucked up. You filled my prescription on a day I didn't have OHP because they fucked something up. I'm asking you to bill it now, today, when I'm actually picking it up. And it's a bummer that it sucks and that it's hard, but it's not my fault, so I'm not apologizing. I just stood there. No, I just stood there quietly and just patiently waited. I didn't even respond to the bitchin'. Then I went driving for a little bit. Oh, after church, I went driving for a little bit. I had to do 5 trips to earn a $30 bonus. I did 4 trips, and that last fucker, a dude, of course, vaped in my car with fragranced tobacco vape, so it's even worse. I did not want to fucking engage him. I did not want to have a conversation because I should not have to say, don't vape in my car. I shouldn't have to say that. Luckily,
they don't have that,
Oh, no, that's definitely a fucking rule. There's no fucking reason that should have happened. So everything about it was boundary crossing. Mm. And I'm luckily I already had my windows pretty far down because anyway, I had the windows down, I had my HEPA filter blaring, and I was just tracking what was happening so that I can make a report. Because I shouldn't have to engage with this dude. It's only a couple minutes from home. It's only so I was able to be okay, I have recourse. It's over really soon. I am getting sick. This is a fucking safety issue. He did cause me allergic reactions because his fucking choice to do something really fucked up in my car. But the universe took care of me because I was 4 minutes from home. The allergic reactions didn't get so bad that I would have been afraid to drive until a little bit later. Brian was there to help me. And I did the math, and because of Lyft's guarantee, they owed me 10% of the, something, and that worked out to be $30. So I didn't have to take that last trip. I didn't have to forfeit that $30. I still got it. Mm. And I have recourse. I still have to put in another report. I put in one, put another, but still, it's all that advocacy. I go to acupuncture and I say, oh my God, I'm so exhausted from all of this self-advocacy, asking for things that are so fucking simple, really, in the grand scheme of things. They're just different. And we got to have a nice long chat about what's in your pelvic bowl, is, energy there. That's your storage of energy for self-advocacy. And for, all of that sort of energetic is to be able to do it confidently and without it exhausting you, but also to so the stuff that's getting stuck in me, it's stored. The stuff that and is blocking my energy so that it doesn't exhaust me when I do have to self-advocate. It's just because that's the world I live in and I know I need to do that. But by clearing and opening my pelvis and my, all of that kind of stuff, stretching, all the things I need to do, that will open up more energy and it'll let it flow through. So this whole week has been this whole lesson in overwhelm and, how other people outside affect me and what do I have control over and what do I not, and how do I engage and how do I recover and how do I make my choices. And how do I feel when I get to do what I want to do and spend my time how I want to spend it? So fucking energized right now. Yesterday I could barely get around. I was stumbling. I was having difficulty communicating. I wasn't able to be fully present for my gathering.
Yeah.
And so, but now I feel great because I've been with my friend. I only had a few minutes of the annoying aspects of co-living. And then we got to talk about it, and I'm like, okay, it's not just me. Great. It was annoying for you, too. Great. But guess what? We have another option, too. We don't even have to fight the fight. We can just go upstairs in another beautiful place that we can hang out and work and talk. So getting to experience all the options. Mm. Well, and a lot of focus on the abundance. I got a new bed this week. Easefully, gently, free, chemical-free home. So there's all kinds of really, really good things. support me through all that fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we must be a part of the same super being. You know, pelvic floor work. I was doing pelvic floor work a couple years ago, and spiritually I learned that it's all the things that we suppress. They all just get pushed in that area. And now that I'm being initiated with perimenopause, it's like this fucking rage monster in me that's just like, I feel like I'm having to raise my voice because folks aren't listening the first time.
Yep.
Or the second time.
Or the 10th.
Or the 10th time. And I think for me there's so many lessons around like righteous anger.
Yep.
And like
That's been this week too. Yep.
I feel like I kind of like gaslight myself when like I'll give an example of like my co-parent and like I feel like I've mostly experienced him as somebody who will intentionally make my life more challenging or difficult. Isn't someone who is wanting to collaborate or cooperate or communicate. So like when I think of like my relationship with giving myself permission to be angry, especially in that relationship, it's like gaslighting myself. It's kind of like excusing his behavior, you know, like I'm like, oh, he's still in his pain, you know, it's been 9 years of this man being in his pain, you know what I mean? And it's like, because I understand the behavior, I somehow excuse it, and I ignore or shut down my own anger around it, instead of being like, this is legitimately fucked up.
It is.
You know?
And what he's doing is typical. I believe that's part of the reason why we tend to do this sort of excusing, because it's typical. So when it's the typical and it's all around you, I mean, no wonder it feels fucking exhausting to do anything different. You can't fight the entire world, and this one in particular, like 9 years is a long time to keep having the same experience. And if you're not getting a chance to really talk with others about it, I think that's why things get stuck.
Yeah. And I feel like my trauma response is like, I go into fawning, you know, and I like excuse it. I excuse poor behavior. And then all of that just keeps getting pushed down and down and down and down. And yeah, like, especially like the last 2 weeks with the perimenopause stuff, you know, and like the activation of my rage monster. I'm just gonna say the return of my dragon.
Let's do that, because I like that. That sounds powerful.
You know, it's like looking at myself, not through the lens of like I'm a monster, but that this is a part of me, and that this does have a purpose, and like
place.
Returning to what you were talking about, like, reminded me of Gabor Mate, and he speaks of anger as like when our boundaries are compromised.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he's like, anger is actually healthy.
Yes.
Like, it's in animals. Like, animals do it, like, back off my...
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So, like...
we're doing ourselves a disservice by not allowing that part of ourselves. Stuff in it.
Yeah.
Fuck that. No. That's what we've learned.
Yeah.
Don't tell. Oh, don't tell anybody what just happened.
Or don't make
here.
anyone else uncomfortable.
Don't make anyone else uncomfortable.
Yeah. Your displeasure is making me uncomfortable.
And I sure as fuck can't take responsibility for anything that I've done or said, because you know what? I'm the adult here, but you're the kid, but you're the one who's bad. Yeah. And don't you dare tell me what I've done wrong or how I've fucked things up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Everybody's got a bit, I think most of us have a bit of that, like, kid who has stuff on because you can't get away from the situation you're in until when you can. But most of us, when we're small, we can't get the fuck away. What can you do but fun? That is survival. And then until you're able to like find the path to your actual people, your that they're all actual, but I mean your healthy people, your growth people, you're like, yeah, we're gonna have pain together, I'm sure, but we're growing together through it. We're not fighting each other or harming each other through it. We're not going like, you're mad and that's your fault. We don't do that anymore. Like, wow. Even if you came to me and said that thing you said or did was very difficult for me or felt really hurtful or whatever, I want to be somebody who's safe for you to say that to, and then I can be like, okay, let's learn more about that. How can I be sure to either not do that again, or is there understanding between us that could help both of us feel like, okay, that
we're on the same team.
We're on the same team. We're on the same team. And I get so bummed out when people get like so pissed at me, and it was about something they never told me that really is hard for them. So how in the fuck am I supposed to do anything different? All I can tell is there's something happening that's frustrating for you. I can tell that. But I ask, is there something? Is everything okay? Are you all right? Are you mad at me? And if maybe we're being too serious. You know, and if you're gonna tell me that no, you're not, everything's fine, then okay, I gotta believe that. And then, you know, 2 months later, you're fucking freaking out and blowing up at me, and I'm like, I would have stopped doing that thing that made you feel nuts, or you would have known the reason why I need or want or ask for that is for this and that reason.
Lately, I've been having coming to resolution when I'm communicating, like, hey, this doesn't feel good, hey, I'm needing this, hey, when I'm communicating my needs in a clear and simple way, like there's no room for misinterpretation, and that is still not being met.
Exactly what I've been doing.
Lately, I'm like, okay, if this situation isn't going to change, I have to change my boundaries. And I'm sensing, system sensing, you know, it hurting people's feelings. It's ruffling some feathers. And it's like, at what point do I get to take care of myself?
And at what point do you take responsibility for the fact that you're a grown-ass adult and someone can say, hey, this behavior or this thing or this whatever between us, you know, you can't talk about it, you can't function around it, you can't let somebody have an experience, like that's not.
Or let somebody like at least express their disappointment, you know? Like,
But it is for us that specificity, because that's what I came with too, was a very specific request. There's really not a lot of confusion here. It's not a gray area. There wasn't. And so in that sense, it did help me to be able to have that such a specific thing be so difficult and not come to resolution, and a bunch of fucking time spent on it without resolution. After the fact, this wasn't in the moment. The moment I was really fucking upset about it. After the fact, I went, okay. I did try to stop the conversation. I did say we need to table this. And that was overridden, so that's just like another symbol. But looking back, I'm like, I was trying to use words to convey a message that cannot be communicated in words. Can only be communicated in experience at this point. And so what I really wish could have happened in the conversation I was having was, it since I was already in lizard brain, I couldn't do this myself. Somebody else, I wish someone else would have said it. It seems like we're not coming to an understanding here. Like, you know, I understand, this is what I understand. Someone could say, this is what I understand. And maybe the person who doesn't understand would come to. But if not, that's fine. It's like we're trying to use words to convey something that let's just experience it. Just pause this for now. We'll come back to it in 2 weeks in the next meeting. 'Cause now I've had the opportunity to really notice everything that I asked for and how it would be for me if I had received it. And if I was receiving it now, I have a sense of what that would be like. And my hope is he's been noticing, you know, now that he's aware of my strong preference for no sound, no music, no chat, my hope is he's been noticing a bit more. So we'll be able to come to the next one with some experience.
And that pause, there's so much juice in the pause.
That's the
You
other
know,
thing.
like when we
We're
metabolize, when we step off the hamster wheel and we're
Mhm.
like, oh shit,
Yeah,
oh shit.
you're too much in your fucking brain. Yes, that's the other thing. Is we're done with the conversation. We're not getting anywhere. We're stuck here. Pause. We'll come back. At least a minimum of 24 hours. I think longer is often better. A minimum, though, of sleeping on it.
Sleeping on it's also really difficult for folks.
Don't go to bed mad. That's bullshit. That creates more drama. That creates the situation where you're unable to reconnect and recalibrate with your person before sleep. That means you go to sleep disconnected and in pain. Or extremely exhausted because you stayed up and stayed up and stayed up and stayed up. And you're getting no fucking where. It's really the exact same thing we were still talking about. You've got to stop the conversation. We're like, we have to come back to this later. How can we reconnect? How can we be, if it's somebody you want to reconnect with, obviously, it's our closest people that we do. How can we wrap this up? Reconnect, come back to it when we are both more regulated.
And part of the pause is being on a team.
Yeah.
You know, I care for your nervous system. You care for mine. We're clearly in something.
I
Out of
trust
care.
you.
Let's pause.
Yeah. 'Cause that's when the more and more harm is done. The more and more angry words, more and more raised voices, more and more like comes out. We're not seeing eye to eye here. We don't have to see eye to eye right now. If the house isn't literally on fire and we have to come to an agreement whether or not which exit to take, if that's not happening, we can pause this conversation. It's not an emergency. No matter how elevated you feel and you want to talk about it, complete. No. That's when we stop.
Lately, I've been asking for folks to find someone else to process with.
It's another one. Is not only identifying your resource and what you have the capacity for, but also noticing when it's like, I'm not the person to process this with. Either because I'm too close to it, or you believe I'm part of it and you haven't quite figured out yet like what you're learning separate from me.
Or I'm taking on some role relationally that isn't mine. I have a child, one literal child, physical child. It is not my job to parent myself and or someone else.
And it's very true though that I think the majority of the humans in our sphere did get shut down at a certain age, and they're stuck there, and they don't know how to mature past that. And it is not you as the housemate or the partner or whatever who's supposed to be in every piece of that healing. Like you are, but you're alongside. You're the partner. You're there for the longevity. You're there for the I can see your progress. I can see how you're differentiating, you're finding your own learning, and I can be here and celebrate with you. And when it's ours to process, we can process it. But you gotta be able to recognize what's ours and what's yours first. And yeah, you gotta be so careful about being put into the role of projected onto or whatever.
Because I think that's where, at least for me, a lot of resentment has been coming from.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't ask for this position.
Covered up enough? I want to feel covered up.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for this position, and then feeling like I'm taking on more relationally, like I'm the facilitator, you know, checking in, like, what's my needs? What are your needs? You know, like,
I've led that conversation 20 times now. It's time for you to take a turn.
here's the facilitator hat, my friend.
Maybe we need physical signs.
Maybe.
Sometimes.
You know,
We're gonna make a kit. Silly ones though. Silly.
This,
Bring
yeah,
comedy to
yeah,
it.
yeah.
The talking stick.
Well, so,
Facilitator that.
I found a coworker of mine wears this shirt that just says anxious, and I'm like, my child would love that shirt. Or like, I'm peopled out. I'm all peopled out.
That one I like. Yeah.
I like that one too.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like, I just imagine wearing the facilitator hat and just being like, I'm going to give this to you.
Yes.
And maybe you can, like, I know this isn't in your wheelhouse, but maybe you can try.
Well, it's also the, you know what I keep seeing, the therapy of third person, like the chair therapy, you know, where like you speak to somebody that you need to speak to, they're in the chair, they're obviously not, but, and or you speak to yourself in third person. Mm-hmm. And so we're also depersonalizing in a positive way, like by like, okay, I've got the facilitator hat on, now we're gonna physically move that. It's the same kind of idea as like, okay, I'm sitting in this role right now, I'm going to speak as this person. I'm going to move to your chair now, and I'm going to speak as you. Like, there's all these different therapies that are out there that are a basis for what we're talking about.
It kind of
taking it a little further.
It kind of reminds me of like role playing in community.
Exactly.
You know?
And we need to. Mm-hmm. But I think what we haven't been able to figure out is how to do it lightheartedly. How can the idea of the psychodrama, which I haven't dug into, but sure sounds great to me, but how can that be fun, intentional, you know, while we're resourced? We can honestly say, I'm done, I need a break. Like, but yeah, can full on really do it.
One of the,
relational
one
healing.
of the tools that couple in my community do is like when they're in conflict, they'll like press the pause button and one of them will pick the music and the other person will interpretively dance their experience. And I fucking love that.
And some people would respond really well to that.
I love that idea. That couple in general, I find them like really inspiring. But for me, I'm like, yeah, like I need some sense of levity in the bullshit. Otherwise, it just keeps sucking us dry.
It does.
And I'm less motivated to come to this conversation.
Totally.
I need some levity.
It
It also reminds me of that lady on Instagram that's like the dancing lady on Instagram.
Oh, yeah, Tony A.G. or something.
The person that looks like Lindsay.
Oh, no, because the gal I'm thinking of looks...
No, like Brittany.
Brittany. Which Brittany? Brittany... There's several.
Anyway.
Yeah,
the dancing
I know what you
lady.
mean. Yes, I think we're talking about the same person. But there's several of them now. Like, there's people who are doing something similar to her, and it's hilarious. And I love seeing everybody's take on it.
Yeah.
And, so we just, all the conversation, a bunch of conversation I've been having in the past 24 hours has been around this. How can we have fun with it? How can we laugh at it? How can we laugh at the shit that we ourselves, like last night, there was somebody who has to stop eating food and like just eat like this weird liquid mixture trying to save her, like reset her body. So she can't eat soon when she stops eating. Another one already can't eat because she's allergic to fucking everything. And she's even like, if somebody comes up to her and breathes on her that they've eaten something like that she's allergic to, she might have a reaction. And so she can't breathe. I can't breathe out in the world because of other stuff. And so we were just rolling, like laughing about like, oh, and we all hate, several people get like parts of their body like go out of whack if the music's too loud. And so they can't go to dance anymore because they use a subwoofer and it knocks, like it hurts them. It physically harms them. And so so we were like, she found a room 2 doors back. Like there's 2 rooms back from at the den, not the den, the other place, the new place. She's like, you can still hear the music. There's no fragrance back there. There's no the subwoofer's not hitting. So we're going to be the 2 doors back people. We're going to go have our own little dance party. But we had all these skits like about not being able to breathe, not being able to eat, not being able to move. Like we got to figure out ways to laugh at. I got to a point I could laugh this morning with Jeanette about falling in the pee ditch, which was a pretty upsetting thing when I was a kid. So it's kind of that same idea. Is like,
The
how can we laugh?
ridiculousness.
How can we laugh? It's the Shrug Squad. It's the Shrug Squad. Like how can we laugh at the shit that fucking sucks? Like, at some point, I hope we can figure out a way to laugh about how your knees sometimes feel like somebody is hitting them with an anvil, and not because we're dismissing it, but like, how can we feel this energy in a different way?
Yeah.
We can cry really big about it, or we can figure out a way to laugh really big about it.
And that reminds, like, what you're talking about reminds me of, like, pain pleasure association. Mm-hmm. And I've been talking about this with my physical therapist about, like, basically reprogramming our brains with how we're interpreting our experience. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yep. The book Ikigai that Jeanette and I have already started listening to talks exactly about that. Mm-hmm. Have you listened to it already? Oh, okay.
No, but I've been there when you all are talking about it.
Okay, good. Yeah, we're very pumped. We listened to a little bit this morning, or on the drive back to take her home, and I was losing it. I was so excited because I was like, if I had written the book that I've been wanting to write, this is the fucking book I would have written. Like they have said the words that I would have written, and now I don't have to, and it's awesome. And because I'm building the syllabus too, so. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so here's the syllabus of what's going to teach you about neuroplasticity, about like, how you can retrain your brain. The effect, like we listened to 7 minutes of it, and it started talking about how cortisol affects your body, like physiologically,
physically too,
and physically, how to change habits, how to have a new experience with old stimulus, how to it covered so much in just those few minutes. So I'm like, awesome, the book's been written, now we just listen to it and talk about it. And like that's my dream. Makes things easier. These things we're talking about, somebody wrote about it so that we also don't have to say all the words. It could be like, read chapter 1 and come back and because I'm done 101ing everything.
Yeah,
I'm fucking done breaking it down to beginner level so that everybody can come along for the ride. You can come along for the ride, go listen to stuff that we've talked about before, go read the fucking books. Yeah, don't make us break everything down. That's also why a lot of people don't make the content they want to make, because they have to do all this fucking research first to break it down to the 101 level for the people, or to be like, this is my sources, instead of just like, trust me or don't. Just trust me or don't. Don't watch me if you don't trust me. Don't make me prove to you in every fucking video that I know what I'm talking about. Do your work. If you find this interesting, go listen to some of the other stuff we already talked about, because we've moved on. We've moved on in the conversation.
There's your podcast title.
We've moved on.
Yes.
Oh, Jeanette named, yes, that can be. We have all kinds of things. But Jeanette named something. Jeanette named our group today. Where did I write that? Oh, the Mutual Inspiration Society.
Oh.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, we could have like little unicorn patches.
Totally. Yeah. So, the Mutual Inspiration Society seeds were planted today, and we started talking about the volunteers we need so that we can get her channel off the ground, get yours growing, get mine growing, get other channels off the ground, people who are just sitting like, I'm stuck. We need the volunteers who will come in and they'll timestamp for us, so I've been giving specific directions and like, you hear something you think is really clever, what time did we start talking about it? You do this already. When did we stop talking about it? What did we talk about? Put a couple sentences in and a couple words in there, and now someone else can come along and like, oh, I've been learning how to edit. I'm going to edit this segment. And that's how progress will be made. That's how progress is already made. I got to post the first one that was done by a volunteer just yesterday.
How do we do that for America?
We start with us. One at a time. No, I'm not. I know I'm serious.
I know.
But yeah, we cannot worry about the whole country at once. All we can do is worry about what we're doing, and we are. Like, that was when I was lying on the floor crying after the election, and I'm just like, fuck, how can we live in this goddamn world, and how can we, navigate this? I was like, well, I'm going to keep doing what I can do. And what I can do is create the space for people to come together and feel what actually being in community feels like, and can receive actual support and care, and how the growth can happen when you have some resource and you're able to open up time because you didn't have to cook a bunch of food because somebody else brought you some. You know, you can start to do the things that you're meant to do, and we can start to grow together. But it can only be done as we start to come together with those we can trust, who aren't going to just fucking drain everything out of us. And we've been learning our discernment. We've been learning our confidence. We've been building libraries of content. So they're coming. The volunteers are coming, and we're just going to show them. We're just going to say, "This is how you do it. This is how you do it. Go do it with your friends." That's how we change. That's how we change the world. Watch us do it. You go do it. Some people will watch you do it. They'll go do it. The ripple effect. And I found a gal yesterday who started her channel 1 month ago. She talks about all the same shit that we talk about. And she got like, I don't know, fucking 150,000 subscribers or some shit. She's not even like making it as fancy. She's just, so the only thing that's stopping us all is just the little tweaks that we gotta do that we need help to do.
Thanks.
How are you feeling energy-wise? You need to go lay back down?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see you draw. Thank you for spending 51 minutes and 38 seconds with me on camera, though.
Yeah. I really like this backdrop. You should definitely try it again.
Yeah, when you feel up to, like, yeah, being silly
We
and
could
singing
do like
and
porch talk or something.
gotta do our porch talk.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen to the rain.
Yeah.
Got to sit out. Good tiny bra.
Yeah, this is cozy. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm so glad it worked out. Now I get to drive home when it's daylight. Yeah. I hope you're feeling up to whatever it is you need to do tomorrow.
Thanks. Yeah. I work this week, and so
Is next week off, or is any part of next week off?
yeah, I have next week off. I'll have
Okay.
Penelope with me.
Okay. So can we make plans to spend time together at my house with Jeanette and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then there are some things shifting around here. My sweetie's moving in on the 26th. So, yeah.
And I'm guessing you guys could probably benefit from some help coming to, like, I don't know, unpack or organize, or like, is he moving a whole household in, or is he really pretty light?
He has a oh gosh, what's it called when you hook it up to like a car?
A trailer?
He has a trailer. I feel like I would welcome folks coming by and like, because you know, we both have children and we want to set up their rooms and yeah, I want to like clean up,
Point and direct and.
yeah, clean up the spaces and then just put together furniture and stuff. So yeah.
I mean, the housemate who's moving out is gonna clean the spaces that they used as if they were emptying an apartment otherwise, right?
I'm assuming so. Yeah.
You wanna, make
I'll
sure.
confirm.
Because not everybody's real good about that, and it may not be like consciously butthead, but it can be like, you know, I hope that you'll be cleaning the spaces in the same way as if we were vacating completely.
Yeah.
Appreciate that very much. 'Cause I'm kind of pissed. My house was dirty when we moved in, and it's still like there's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
So I want to work party at my place too.
Okay.
But
Let's make
okay.
some plans.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So yeah, we will make plans for after the 26th. The 27th is our sleepover. So maybe that'd be even better. You can be like, leaving you behind. Go ahead, do your thing. I'm gonna take my kid. And we're gonna go for a sleepover.
Okay.
So yeah, let's make plans. Let's get them actually planned rather than just spoken about.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you for sharing some time and space with me.
Yeah. I love you so much.
I love you too. This is community.
Yeah.
We met at a thing, an event, and then we left the fucking event and spent time together.
Yeah.
and actually developed a relationship.
We've been talking for years.
For years.
Texting and talking for years.
Cultivating, growing, that's community. I'm really riled up about event culture right now. Like, I'm like, that's not fucking community. If you haven't spent any time outside of events with anybody in this room, you don't get to fucking say, it's so lovely being in community with you. No, it's so lovely hanging out with you, meeting you, chatting with you. That's scratching the surface. I really like XYZ about you. Let's hang out. Fucking do it. That's community.
That's community.
Events are just to meet people, not to be the fucking end all be all and the only place to see each other. That's like going to the bar. How's that any different than going to the bar? You know?
It's not. Not
I
that much
started
different.
watching Cheers, the 1980 version of Cheers, and it's like, wow. Wow. Yeah. But it is kind of nice, like, you know, the place you want to go, where everybody knows your name.
Dun, 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 dun.
And something that's always the same. You know, so we're recreating Cheers.
I want to go where the people know. Da, 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 da. I want to know where. I want to go where everybody knows your name. Da, 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 da.
We're watching Cheers now.
No, we're
That's
inspired by
Cheers, though,
Cheers.
right?
Yeah, we're inspired by Cheers
Mhm.
and Seinfeld and a few other things. Yeah.
Oh, I fucking
Yeah.
love Seinfeld.
I don't know. So yeah, even just that, we got to hang out and watch that shit. It's training. That's training. It's comedy training because you know our comedy shows are being born
Because we're fucking hilarious.
because we're fucking hilarious and all of our friends are hilarious and we need to heal through laughter. No more of this fucking. We can cry, like I'll hold you in crying and I'll like, yeah, bring your whole experience and we can rage, but like, let's laugh. Okay, sweetie. Thanks for letting me come over and bring you soup.
Bye, people who've joined us.
Oh, people actually wrote.
I see you,
Oh,
Courtney.
shit. Oh, sorry,
see
we didn't
you.
speak to you. I never read the comments during because it's too distracting.
I'm gonna exit
okay.
out.
Okay, bye. That's why